Nice.
So what do we discuss?
I want to discuss a little bit about Paticcasamutpada.
Okay.
Um, so, because I don't know the meanings of the specific steps, but from my own insight, things started becoming clear how um, through um, ignorance, then you start building this future expectation
Mm-hmm.
with state of mind, so sort of vijnana,
Mm-hmm.
and then you uh, sort of form an idea of what that is, and
Mm-hmm.
then use your senses to try to fit those ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and then you constantly get vedana according to how that fits. So you check the boxes according to how you fit your preference,
Mm-hmm.
and then you based on that you either uh, wantingly attach, so grasping, or aversion, pushing away. And when
Mm-hmm.
doing so, you're building, you start acting based on this,
Mm-hmm.
and then you start building up uh, a future bhava energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then as long as the conditions that we have a liking for are there, then we think that okay, it's just we can just keep grasping the way we're doing. We can keep pushing away the way we're doing in order to control the condition we would like.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as the karma is there, then it seems okay. But then the moment the karma goes away, then you end up in decay, death, shoka parideva, and then you have this bhava that you built up, and then that's the next thing that comes.
Very. So the understanding seems to be correct without any issues.
Ah, nice. Yeah, so wondering if you could elaborate on your understanding and what the specific terms mean and these things and how they're connected.
Yeah, surely. See, the best way to experience Paticcasamutpada in our life is to take on a particular role what we are playing in our life on a daily basis. So let's say in the case of Lasanta, he is a husband and a father. And in your case, you're, let us say you're a Kalyana Mitra and you have your family down in your country and you're here. So that's one of the role we can take. And then in my case, again, same thing like Lasanta, I'm having a family, and so you have, I play a husband and a father role. And so let's take in that way. So if we look at idam iti imasmim sati idam hoti idam uppada idam upajjati. So that is the starting point of the Paticcasamutpada, that 12 linking. So now we can see that there is a condition which has come into existence. So there is a father is a condition. As long as this father is going to be there, its associated conditions are going to keep on coming. So there would be an expectation on that role, and there would be something that needs to be done on that role. There is something which has to be held on to that role, and all of that is going to be there. And in the end, when the person is supposed to depart, the father departs. So that person loses the identity. So there's no longer that identity can never be seen. So iti imasmim sati idam hoti idam um, uppada idam upajjati. So when this condition comes into existence, that particular thing is going to happen. So this is the first way to analyze the Paticcasamutpada. then Buddha says that when the same thing goes away, then there will be nirujja, that is, it doesn't arise again. So this is, the second way to see. So there is anuloma and patiloma in this Paticcasamutpada. Then as an example, he says that avidya pachay sankhara, sankhara pachay vijnana. So let's take one of those links and see how this works. So the avidya here is that the role what we have considered it to be true. So the father role and the husband role is supposed to be true, because as a part of marriage, the person is supposed to be taking on that role. So now he was called as something, but now he is supposed to be taking on that role.
Yeah, he made an atta out of that role.
Yeah, so we made an avatar of that role, and that role becomes a prominent. So now Lasanta goes away. In its place, it is transformed into a father on one side and a husband on the other side, and he has parents staying in Anuradhapura, so he himself become a son for them. So he has parents. So he's supposed to play these three roles as one single individual called as Lasanta. So if I take my case, I don't have parents anymore, but then I need to do the other two roles without a miss. And then the problem here is that we don't know what the role we are supposed to play minute by minute. So nobody has told us what the father is supposed to be doing and what the son is supposed to be doing and what the husband is supposed to be doing. There is not even a process methodology which is going to work at all point in time. It's not there. It's just an assumption. It's just an thinking that this is the role what is supposed to play. So that is the avidya what we have. So that starts with dukkha, because there is dukkha to begin with when this husband or father or son or whatever, as that role has been put on that person's shoulder, and he doesn't know what that is going to bring him or her into. So it depends on many conditions, not one condition, the many conditions for that to work as a father or as a son or as a husband.
Yeah, because the moment you have that role, then suddenly there is uncertainty, and also there's suppression and control. Because whatever vijnana that comes to the mind, then you're constantly checking with, okay, is it fitting with the role? And then if it's not, then there's fear, and then there's suppression, then there's control, and then you try to constantly in this struggle.
Yes, that is right. So that is what we have all agreed or signed up for. And so what happens here is that we keep on, the situations keeps on changing. They don't stay the same. So our dukkha keeps on changing accordingly. So once it is a sankhara dukkha, once it is viparinama dukkha, once it is dukkha. So all the three are going to be rotating forever, because we want things to work as per what it should be. So the role demands that as a father, I'm supposed to do following thing to my children. So Lasanta is doing his best to meet up that, and I'm doing best to meet up for my son. And you're not married, so you're least bothered about the child which is supposed to come, and neither you have a girlfriend, so you have no idea what you're supposed to be doing. And you have only parents. So the suffering is only with the parent right now as a son. It's nothing to do with how you will be behaving in future with your wife and the child which is going to come out. So in my case, in Luca's case, and in Lasanta case, we have furthermore pain because we signed up for this kind of dukkha. So avijja pachaya sankhara, for the sankhara to happen, there should be a amount of ignorance that needs to be there on how this dukkha is going to work out. So since we don't know how this dukkha is going to work out, so we have a conditioned existence of this sankhara getting added up. So most of the time it is the abhisankhara to maintain that particular role. So in the case of Lasanta, if you see, he is a teacher, so he teaches English, and that's the role which has been given to him, and it depends on, not on him, it depends on the students, and that is the crazy thing. I mean, it was dependent on him, he can deliver, but it all depends on the school, and it depends on the children whom he is making them to learn English, and they learn English or they don't learn English, but the blame comes on him. And also he has a fear that whether the children are going to pick it up, so he has to literally work out different kind of strategies to make them understand, and then help them or guide them, beat them, or whatever that takes to make them understand. So one side he is a teacher, another side he is a parent, another side he himself is a father, and another side is a husband, and another side is a neighbor, and another side is a son for his parents, and like that is a friend for me. So, this keeps on going, and then he has brothers, so he becomes a younger brother for his elder brother, and then he becomes an elder brother for his younger brother. So, so much of complication. So all that is avijja. The whole role playing is avijja there, and that is the cause of dukkha. So now this is conditioned. So once we have condition, we do sankharas to maintain that particular condition, which doesn't really exist in that way. So there are always gaps in that condition. So avijja pachaya sankhara, sankhara pachaya vinyana. So now we bring this person who doesn't exist into existence. So the father comes into existence, the son comes into existence, the teacher comes into existence, and the friend comes into existence. Like that, every role, whatever is there being played, makes an existence which in reality there is no existence actually. So it is only a nama rupa, but we have made that as an existence. So vinyana pachaya nama rupa and nama rupa pachaya vinyana. So vinyana pachaya nama rupa is when this nama rupa, that is the name and form, which takes up the matter, where to descend into the mother's womb, and then the consciousness goes away. So only the name and form remains. So it's like a mold of mud which is trying to take shape, and then it falls down. Similarly, if a father were to, let us say, if a person would marry, and then there's a wife and a husband, and then they both decide to divorce, and then what happens? The same consciousness is no longer there in that husband and wife. So there's a divorce, and then the person divorces the person, and then no longer he can say she's my wife, or no longer she can say he's my husband. They might put it as ex-wife and ex-husband. So when the person dies, it is the same thing, whoever it was. So we put late so and so. So that's the thing what we get into when we say vinyana pachaya nama rupa.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the meaning of nama rupa. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so nama consists of 5 things there. It is the name form or the name group, and it consists of vedana, that is feeling, and there is sanya, which is perception. Then there is chetana, which is intention. Then we have something called as phassa, which is contact, and there is manasikara, which is attention. So basically we can see it in a small child of age group of, let us say, 1 year old. You give a ball, it doesn't know it is a ball. So what it does is that it first feels. So it takes the ball and puts it in its mouth and tastes it. So it will come to know there is something round there, Nobody has told it is round, but it can now feel that roundness, and then it keeps on licking that ball. So it finds out it's a play item, right? So then there's a perception automatically in the child to say that is something what it can play. So it throws the ball down and sees it's moving, and it also starts moving along with the ball. So you have a
It seems you cut out. Sorry, back.
okay. So there was a lightning strike just now. So there was a big thunderbolt.
Okay.
Okay. So basically we all start with Vedana and Sanya. So they go together and there is an intent. So the child has an intent to play with that ball now. So there is an intent and there is a contact. So it doesn't want to let go of that contact. So it always wants to, keep that ball. If somebody wants to take away the ball from it, it will start crying. So then there is Manasikara. Manasikara is attention. So it keeps its attention on that object. And we have two kinds of Manasikara, Yoniso Manasikara, Ayoniso Manasikara. Generally, all of us, unless we are tuned to Dhamma, we have Ayoniso Manasikara, that is an attention which is towards acquiring an object in consideration. So when a role is given to us or when a person is introduced to us, we always take a person as a person and then try to set an expectation with that person or a thing. So let us say I buy an iPhone or I buy something, and then I set an expectation of how long it's going to stay with me, and I expect it to work, and I don't want it to be lost, and I want to guard it, and all of that happens because there is a manasikara, there's an attention. So manasikara is the culprit. It is where the consciousness is used predominantly based upon the Vedana which has happened. So we have a Vedana as a little finger, and then the Sanya as a ring finger, and then the intention Chetana as a middle finger, then the Phassa contact is the index finger, and the thumb is the Manasikara, which is the attention. So this guy carries over everything and then makes it available for experiencing. So this is on the name group, and then we have the Rupa. The Rupa is created by the mind. Like the father, when I say father, there's no father. There is nothing called as father, but then immediately the person is created in the mind with the whatever frame we have. So let us say when I see Lasanta, I have Lasanta vibrating as a sound, and then also I see his figure. So I immediately make him as my friend because he's been kind to me. If he was cruel to me, I would make him as an enemy, and now I make him as my friend. And this shifting between whatever we are doing is because of the Rupa. So we have a tendency in the mind to create solidity and liquidity and heat element and air element together with the Upadaya Rupa, which is Varna, Rasa, Gandha, Oja. When I see he is highly productive, he is highly productive person for me, because now I can interact with him. I can I can go and settle down in
You
or I
dropped
can go.
a bit out after you started saying Varna Rasa.
Okay.
So can you begin there again?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there is Upadaya Rupa. There are 4 Upadaya Rupas. So there is Varna, Rasa, Gandha and Oja. So Varna is the color, and Rasa is the taste, and Gandha is the smell, and Oja is the nutrients. So when we see a person, we always judge by the nutrient ability. So we call that as a productive. So we would like the person to be very productive because we want to utilize the person. So this nama rupa requires a consciousness, and that is the vijnana. So we have to bring it to life. So what generally happens is consciously we bring these relationships to life. So when I say brother, when I say a friend or a father or a mother or a children or a child or a infant or whatever it is, each one naming gives me a different kind of rupa, and because of that rupa there is a vedana. So this goes now in cycle. So when the same person is seen by another person and then he recognizes him or her, that recognition is the manasikara based upon the paticca. That is this is the nama rupa has two things. So one is the adivachana sampassa and paticca sampassa. Adivachana is the language and connotation concepts what we use to call the name group. Basically it is in the true sense it is only vedana, sanya, chetana, phassa, manasikara, but what I do is I camouflage it with language. So now I will call that as father. So instead of calling it as vedana, sanya, chetana, phassa, manasikara, I will call it as father. It becomes very easy for me on identifying father because we have a commonality as father. So in all the languages we have a way to call a father, and the language might change but the relationship remains the same. So, and then when a person is created as father, we know that let us say a child is taught in the school when he starts A and they say apple, and that child doesn't know what is apple. So they show a picture and say that this is apple, and then what he's getting is a sanya. He really doesn't have any rupa there. It's only a sanya. There is this sanya which makes it possible for us to experience. So everything is a sanya. So we have a nitya sanya because we feel that that apple is going to be there forever. Because every time I open the book, the apple is there. So now when I see it on a tree, I will ask what it is, and the person says, this is apple. Oh, you know what? It was red in color and it is green here. So somebody says that no, even apple have green color. So this is green apple. It's called as green apple, and a normal apple is called as red apple. Oh, then I register it. So the Vedana said that this is apple and then it is a different color. So there's a question mark there, and the Sanya would say that, this is not apple, and the other person corrects it and say that it's an apple and it's a green apple. So now immediately the manasikara will register. So the attention is there and because of the contact, and now what happens is in the memory, this green apple takes the shape and the color and whatever it is, and then the texture. So the next time when the same object is presented, and then I have this Nitya Sanya, which says that, this is the green apple. I saw it in so and so place. And this time, what happens? They say that it's not green apple, it is pears. Pears? What is pear? No, this is another fruit. It's called pear. It is also green in color, light green, and then it looks like apple, but it's not apple. So now I have to register the third one now. So this is how the the Nama Rupa and Vijnana keeps on working. So on one side we have the Nama Rupa getting developed as a human body and or the being body, whichever that animal or being or whichever it is, and another side we create an artificial relationships which we try to associate with and say that this is what it is. So this artificial relationship lasts more longer than the actual relationship. So what happens here is, even though the person is aging out, I always feel father is a father, a mother is a mother, a child is a child, a son is a son, a daughter is a daughter, a friend is a friend, because that doesn't die. That remains forever. So there is this Nitya Sanya which says that, that your friend is going to be there forever, and your wife is going to go there forever, your husband is going to stay forever. Your son is going to stay forever. So everything going to stay forever. So there's Nitya Sanya. So the Nitya Sukha Atta Subha is what I have registered in the mind now at this stage of Nama Rupa Pachaya Vijnana. Then I have Salaitana, because now these six sense bases will start working. They become faculties instead of just an Indriya. So there's a difference between Indriya and Salaitana. The Indriya is as these five senses are. They don't do anything except for identifying them and then with the respective object. Like a chakra will only look at Rupa, but there is no attachment to that. But whereas I get a sampassa when there is a contact with an intention to acquire it, and then I can, depending upon my gati, I will attach it. And I say that, this is a nice flower. It's only a flower. The nice came in my mind. It was never nice. For another person, that flower looks dirty, but for me, it looks very nice flower. I say, wow, what a color. Now that wow is there in my mind, the color is there, but the wow is what I feel it. So when I see a doll and then I say beautiful, that beautiful is there in my mind. It never exists on the actual product or whatever I'm seeing there. So because of this Nama Rupa, I have Salaitana. Salaitana will create the Phassa, that is the intention, the contact, and Phassa.
Understood.
Then I can Dukkha Sukama Vedana.
You talk out a little bit again.
Okay. Where was I? In the Vedana, you could hear until Vedana?
You said something about Salayatana.
Salaitana. Okay, Salaitana. There is a sixth sense door. So, what actually did you hear rightly on how the Indriyas become Salaitana?
Well, when you, if I understand it correctly, when you use your senses to navigate the world you conceptualized.
Right.
It's like
Right.
this.
So when there is yes, correct. And the only thing is that you require to have some Phassa. That is, you require with an intention to enjoy that. And then only it becomes Salaitana. Otherwise it just remains as Indriya. So in an Arhat it just remains as an Indriya, whereas with a normal person it becomes Samphassa. So I have created that into a Salaitana which will hold that experience.
Yeah.
Like, that wow effect, the beautiful effect, it is superb, it's so nice, all of those words what we use, which is adivachana, samphassa, that is the language and connotation, and samphassa is with some, that is raga, dvesha, moha being there, and phassa is the contact. So I have sampassaja vedana, that is born out of the raga, that is desire, to that this is me and this is what I want to possess. I think again. Okay.
So you start at raga.
Yes. So raga is a desire, and dvesha is the aversion, and moha is delusion. So when I come to delusion, it is like I feel this is mine. This feeling is mine, or this experience is mine. It's like I say, I had a very nice jhana. I went into fourth jhana. So let us say a person who has never experienced fourth jhana will say, okay, how do I go there? And now I'm confused how to explain that, and I'll say that this is my experience. So now that my experience comes, so it is mine. So that is a delusion. So generally we have sampassaja vedana, that is sam is again the raga, dvesha, moha, phassa is the contact, and ja is birth, and vedana is the feeling. So I can get a sukha feeling there, or a dukkha feeling, or a adukkha sukhama feeling, that is a neutral feeling. So all this happens all the time. So nama rupa pachaya salayatana pachaya phassa, that is the vedana, sorry, the contact has happened between
Can I
the...
just ask some questions?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Because I like to go through it thoroughly, because sometimes it goes a little too quick for me with all the Pali words. So I want to go back to Namarupa.
Sure.
Because I didn't quite get to the point where I could see for myself, okay, what's the meaning of Namarupa in my own experience.
Sure.
So do you have an example where you can point out, in my experience, when I experience something, what's the Vijnana and what's the Namarupa, and what's the components of the Namarupa?
Yeah, so now let us take your name, Axel. What does it ring to you?
Well, when I hear it, it's like, oh, that's me, and someone just called me.
Right.
That's the first thing. If I
So now,
the moment the ears pick up the sound of Axel, then instantly attention goes there.
right. So you have got manasikara. Okay,
Yeah.
that is the attention. So when your name is called, there was a vedana, right?
Yeah.
Sanya is the perception that it is you.
Yeah, someone just called my name. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody called your name. But if there were two Axel, then what would happen? The both will turn.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now there's an intent that you want to know why your name was called.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then there is this contact. So there's a contact with something. So you heard it, or you saw it, or you sensed it, or you tasted it, or you touched it, or something has happened, right?
Yeah.
In this particular case, it is your name being called. So your ear has picked that up, and then the mind says that, hey, somebody is calling you.
What's the difference between the Passa and the Vedana here?
Phassa is the contact with that particular thing, what has happened because of the Vedana, because of the feeling.
So Vedana is like, okay, something just happened, and then you get the Sanya, and then you get and then the Passa. What's the Passa then?
Phassa is the contact. You contact with that audible sound.
Okay, but how is this different from the Vedana?
Vedana is just you feel it.
Okay, but isn't Vedana also meaning the becoming aware of something?
Gap. Okay. Okay, I think we again dropped and came back again. So
Okay. Yes,
yeah.
I was wondering. So Vedana, as I've read about it, also means becoming aware of something. Is
Yes,
that like registration of, okay, there's something?
There's something. So you first feel it. There's something there.
Yeah, like a sensor being triggered.
Correct. Yes, you first turn on your sensor. So you are now. We'll take an example. We'll take this Bluetooth pairing as an example, right? So both places Bluetooth is on the equipment. So that is the feeling. That's the starting point. Okay. Then the Bluetooth is trying to recognize. So there is a sanya.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there is an intent to connect two devices.
Yeah.
And then they get connected. So that is the contact.
Okay, the moment they get connected is the contact.
They get connected is the contact. And then there is this manasikara which will decide whether to connect or not.
Okay, so in my own experience then, So the Vedana is that the sensor is there.
Right.
So not necessarily becoming aware of it, but that the potential of becoming aware of it.
Yes.
And actually becoming aware of it is the passa.
Perfect. When you get connected, you are connected with the feeling.
Ah, okay, nice, nice. And
And the manasikara is the deciding authority there.
yeah. So when someone calls my name, already there was Vedana, and then I got the sanya. Okay, there was the sanya and the passa comes at the same time.
Yeah, you now came back.
Okay, yeah. So the sanya and the passa comes at the same time,
Yes.
and then immediately there's a chetana.
No. Before phassa happen, there is an intention to turn or not to turn, because that sanya will say that something has happened. So if we take this Bluetooth example, you have first the sensor on in both the devices, then there is this perception of trying to see whether the both are meeting the condition, then there is an intent to connect, and the phassa is the connection happened. Okay, and
So
yeah.
how is this?
Axel, just hold on for a second. I will, instead of the Bluetooth device, I will put an actual persons.
Okay.
So now let us say two bodies by name Axel are walking on the road, and then I see you and I say, hey Axel. So what should happen now? Both of them will turn their heads. Right?
Yes.
Okay, in that what has happened is that there is a Vedana that then the sound has passed through. There's a Vedana, Sanya, Chetana. In all that both of you, there is a Chetana which will make you to turn around now. Okay?
Yeah.
And there is, the Chetana is the intention to turn.
Yeah.
Now let us them.
Are you there? Then I turn my head.
Yes. So both of them would turn their head because there is an intent to turn the head. Right? So till that time it is fine. Now you have, because you turned the head because of the phassa, that contact has happened, the sound has picked up your ear. Let us say the second person doesn't hear anything because he is deaf. Okay, and he'll still keep on walking because he did not hear anything at all. And even though his name was Axel, he did not turn back, and you turned back because there was a contact. So the sound has contacted you, it has registered that it is you who is being called, so you have turned, right?
Yeah.
Now what happens is there is this manasikara, that is attention. So it will attend to completely. It will recognize who the person called, and then also know that it is a friend who is calling you, and it will get ready with everything it wants to now accompany with. That is, it wants to find out why you have called, or how come you're here, and all that is happening in the background by the time this manasikara comes into existence. Okay.
Yeah.
Now what happens here is that I wanted to call the other Axel, and then he had forgotten to put his ear instrument because he cannot hear. So I will go near to him, and you have already turned, and you are trying to see why did I call your name, and then I will tap his shoulder, and he turns back and he'll say, hey Vilas, how are you? And then I'll say, hey, Axel, I was trying to call you and then, you didn't turn. No? And then he says, oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I have not put my instrument. So let me put my hearing aid. And then he puts a hearing aid. Now what happens to you? You drop off because you connected a wrong device, and then I say, hey, sorry that I kept you waiting. His name is also Axel, and I didn't know your name is Axel. Very glad to meet you. My name is Vilas, so I'm sorry that I disturbed you. And you say, it's okay. So and then you start walking. So what happened? Everything happened, but the final thing didn't happen. That is, the Manasikara decided that I'm not your friend. And because I don't know you, so it started recognizing, it could not recognize any further. So it wanted to ask, why did you call my name? And then it came to know that, or you came to know that the other guy was the one whom I'm supposed to be friend with, and then he didn't bring his hearing aid, and now that he's got his hearing aid and things are okay. So it was a genuine misunderstanding, and then you don't feel good or bad, you feel neutral and go away. All of this happens instantaneously, and without our, we don't really go into this much of detail to see how this is working. So this is how the Nama works for a particular Rupa. Axel is a Rupa, but the body has been changing forever. This is not stood even for a minute without changing. But the
You there with us?
recording, so hopefully it should work out. Very nice. So now this it goes through that we believe that very true, but it has gone through all of these five, that is Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Phassa, Manasikara as a name group. So even though the body keeps on changing, it gives us an impression that Axel exists all the time, Lasanta exists all the time, Vilas exists all the time. Whomever we call by name or by designation or by relation, we expect that to exist for a long period of time, because that is how we mentally take it. So for a particular Rupa, we create in our mind, say Axel, now I seen your photo, and in the morning I saw you in the Bodhi tree. It has got registered. So every time, even though from the time I left in the afternoon and things have changed, a lot of things have changed in your body, your fluids have changed, your structure has changed a bit, and you might not be hungry then, or you might be hungry, or you would have eaten something and not eaten something, or something like this. So a lot of changes have happened, but I still don't feel that so many changes have happened, and then you also don't feel so many changes have happened in me. So every time we see each other, we try to focus back on how we had seen each other some time ago. So only when things have drastically changed, then only we'll say, you know what, you seemed aged now, and then I say, yeah, you know what, I'm now catching up with age. So I'm now so and so years old, and you know what, that's what is happening. But if we were to see on a regular basis, daily basis, we don't really get to see that aging at all, because the mind only goes by Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Phassa, Manasikara. It will As a conceptually, it will take the rupa, it will not take the actual rupas at all. So there is no actual rupa being experienced at any point in time. It's only the conceptual rupa which, gets the person hooked onto.
Exactly. So this is how, uh, yeah, like how you put your sense impressions into boxes,
Yes,
conceptual boxes, and then you relate to them in that way,
yes,
and then you assume that the rupas are continuous, that
yes,
they're nitya.
yes. And so we always have the nitya sanya on the rupa, nitya sanya on the nama. And that is how we get the continuity.
Yeah. So nitya on the nama, what would that mean?
Nama, like father or a friend or whatever relationship we have set, is going to remain forever, right?
Oh yeah. So the relationship between nama and rupa, that's where the connection between those two. That's
Yes,
where we have the nitya.
yes, that is the nitya sanya, and for that you need life. So we bring in the vijnana, consciousness.
Okay. So when you say the consciousness, you mean the personal experience of it.
Personal experience which is transitory and it is not there at all actually, but we bring that as an experience and say that I just now experienced my friend.
Hmm. So when you say it's not there at all, what do you mean by that?
Let us say we both spoke in the afternoon, right?
Yeah.
It is just a memory now, correct?
Yeah.
But can you relive that experience by chance?
Yeah, vaguely.
No,
Yes.
you can relive only in your mind. You cannot relive anywhere else at all.
Okay, I like that. Yeah.
Okay, so you can never go back to what it was when we just started talking.
Yeah.
Okay, now Lasanta was not there. Can he experience whatever we both experienced in the afternoon?
No.
No, he cannot. He can only imagine now.
Hmm.
So he has this vijnana which can imagine and give him the same result almost.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
See, if we both start explaining him whatever we discuss, he can imagine it, right?
Yeah.
So he can create a papancha out of it. That is a world out of these five senses. He can create it immediately.
Okay. So papancha is when you what is called when you conceptualize a whole world in a sense.
Yes, you conceptualize the whole world consisting of five senses and five sense objects.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. And you get a sort of a subtle idea of what the world is and everything.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah.
All that is created one in the mind.
So papancha is what we navigate with.
Yes, Papancha is the one we navigate with. Now let us say I had never visited Sri Lanka and then you show me Bodhi tree. There's just a tree. There's nothing called as Bodhi tree, but it is popularly called as Bodhi tree.
Hmm.
So now my Papancha is a Bodhi tree,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
right? And I have no idea what is Bodhi tree. Okay. Now you fill in the blank and say that, hey Vilas, what you're seeing is a Bodhi tree. I will ask, oh, what kind of tree is that? Then you say, no, it is called as Bodhi tree. Oh, first of all, I need to know what is a tree. So then you show a creeper or you show something and say that this is a stem and this is a leaf and this is what it is. And if its trunk is so big, it's called as a tree. So now instead of something which existed in the first place.
Okay. You dropped out a little bit again. So you said after you said okay, something is called as a tree, and then now instead of, and then you dropped out.
Yes, so instead of saying it as trunk and leaves and branches and so many different parts of that, it is called as a tree.
Yeah.
Okay, so every time you say tree, what happens? The branches, the leaves and the trunk and everything comes into existence
Yeah.
in the mind, right? Just like when we say axle, the 32 parts of the body comes together with that.
Mm.
But actually it is 32 part of the body. It is separate.
Yeah.
But still we don't see it as separate. We see it as single unit. called Axel,
Mm.
or called Vilas, or called Lasanta. Right?
Yeah.
And this is how the Rupa is created in the mind.
Oh yeah, so we get an image of what it is.
We get just an image to what it is. So we would like to hold the image, and the image is the Pasada Rupa, which is the shiny surface. So we trying to get something which we'll never get at all. So we have the Chakku Pasada Rupa, Sota Pasada Rupa, the Sota Pasada Rupa, Pottabba Pasada Rupa, like that. We have all Pasada Rupas only.
Mm.
That is a shiny surface. So when the Vijnana falls on that, the animation starts, the movement starts.
Okay, so the Pasada Rupa is like the movie screen, and
Yes.
then you get then the outside world is constantly projecting on this movie screen,
Right.
and what you experience is on the movie screen. So this is the Vijnana.
Yeah, that is a Vijnana. So the screen starts enjoying and suffering what is happening on the screen.
Oh yeah. So it's like you watch. So so all the senses is like just movie playing.
Yes, the senses are like the movie playing. So you get that unity that I am watching it.
Yeah.
I
And
am feeling it.
oh, okay. So that's when it becomes like a defiled vijnana. It's like when
Yes, that is the reason it is called as Vijnana. From Chitta, it has turned itself into Vijnana now.
oh, okay. So when it's just chitta, then it's just playing by itself,
Right.
and then but when it becomes vijnana, then it's like you start being in relation to it.
Right. So actually what happens first, it starts with the screen. So it is chitta. Then you have the light coming up on the screen. So you have mano. Then you have some picture coming on the screen. It becomes manasan. Then the action starts. That is hadayam.
Okay. So hadayang is when you relate yourself to it.
Yes. The
Value.
experience is my experience. It is my experience.
Yeah. So something I thought about a little bit. So how sense of I starts
Yes.
coming up.
Yes.
So I know that with some, whenever I had this like a liking for something,
Yes.
like the liking was there, and then I did a nitra on that, and then I dissolved the liking, but then I noticed the sense of self related to that liking also disappeared.
Yes. True.
So it's like when we put a value on something outside, then immediately we immediately create a self and other.
Yes.
Immediately we're in relation to that because you have the liked, the valued, or the disliked, or the worthless, and then you have in relation to that the liker, the one that dislikes, the one that puts value.
Yes, very true. So actually that's the reason it's called as adivachana samphassa, because we have created language and connotation to say first person experience, second person experience, third person's experience.
Yeah.
So now that we can relate it, see, two unrelated things can be related through a language.
Mm.
So now we have brought into life something which is lifeless.
Yeah.
So what was essenceless, we have made it as an essence, complete essence.
Yeah. Just what were just pictures flowing by. Suddenly we put value onto that, and then the moment we do that, the moment we put value, we also create essence. We create also, and we create both atta in the as in value outside, and then we also create self.
Yeah.
So it get the sense of there's essence there.
Yes, we create an essence. So the more essence we create, the more individuality we become.
Yes.
So the more individual we are, the more enjoyer and sufferer we become.
Yeah.
So this is what is called as Nama Rupa with Vijnana and Vijnana with Nama Rupa.
Ah, okay. Oh, now that makes sense. So the more so the vijnana to the namarupa.
Yes.
So the moment you create the sense of experiencer in relation to what is seen, now suddenly you start conceptualizing everything and then building papancha.
Yes.
and then you try to hold on to that papancha, and then you everything and attach to that, and you want to keep that, and then you involve yourself in that, define yourself by that, and then the moment you do that, you strengthen the vijnana.
Yes, you strengthen the vijnana. The more vijnana we strengthen, the stronger the sankharas are going to become.
Mm.
So now we have a loop now. So we have created a loop between the vijnana and the namarupa, and namarupa with vijnana, and then it keeps on shouldering or falling, passing it down like a downstream energy into the salaytana or the six sense doors.
Oh yeah. So the moment now when you have this relationship between vijnana and namarupa, the experience and the conceptualization, now suddenly you use your senses to navigate in order to upkeep and get what you like, and upkeep your roles and expectation.
Right. Very, very.
So, and this is a constant sankara.
That is a constant sankara. So it becomes abhisankara because I want I to exist and the others also to exist.
Mm.
But everything is coming on that screen, which is a real false image.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what happens here is that because of the salaytana there is phassa, there is contact, and because of the phassa there is vedana. Because of the vedana there is tanha, there is a craving. Okay.
When you say tanha, for me it's like my understanding of it is, I think craving might not be the best word. So it's like when you eat a potato chip. So say I want a potato chip. But then that's tanha. Yeah, it's great. It's good. But what's the difference between the tanha and the upadana?
I will tell you. So tanha ability have, right? So that is the tanha.
You the moment you started explaining it. Try again.
Yeah, so I got it. So it just dropped off. So the unsatiable feeling what I get, just like being in a mirage, that is called tanha. I feel that, I just had one potato chip and then the second one I would like to have.
Yeah.
That calculation that the next one will give me that satisfaction, right?
Yeah.
That is called as tanha, can be called as craving, can be called by whatever name, but the actual thing is that I am going behind something which will make me experience better than my previous experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you, it's like you have a namarupa, and then you associate that with a certain vedana.
Yes.
And then you have the object of the possibility to get the object, and since you associate that with a vedana, either positive or negative, pleasurable or displeasurable, now the moment that is there, then you'll be constantly chasing or pushing away with tanha.
Yes. So that is tanha. It is tanha. That is ha is like, fire, like getting caught up in fire, and tan is burning oneself with that. That is burning with the potential of fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so it takes us to such a level that we want to possess that right now. So that feeling is called tanha, and that feeling makes you feel that you can hold it forever.
Yeah. Then that's the ignorance, that's the avidya that's embedded in the tanha.
Yes, so that is called as upadana. So if we were to use the pada nirukti or etymology, it is upa plus adana. Dana is to give, adana is not to give, that is to hold it, and upa is higher. So I will feel that if I keep it in a higher place, it is going to make me feel even more better, out of the reach of others.
Okay, can you explain upadana again? So what's
It
the
is
difference
actually,
between
yeah, it
Dhamma and Upadana?
is, wait, it is made out of two words, upa plus adana. So dana is giving, sharing.
Yeah.
Adana is not to share.
Mm.
Upa is higher or near. So I will keep it very near to my heart, that experience.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that potato chip what I ate is very dear to me. I don't want to lose it. You got my point, because that is my personal experience.
Okay, so the Upadana then is then when you keep on grasping for more potato chips. But the
Yes,
Tanha is the mental thing. The Tanha is what makes you grasp.
yes, tanha will make you grasp, and then the upadana will make you really grasp it, keep it.
Yeah, or it's like the Upadana is the grasping itself.
Yes, upadana is holding it itself, holding within itself.
Yeah, so when I look the potato chip bag, the
Yes,
Tanha is that I want to take the potato chip.
yes,
Because I have the idea in my mind of potato chip, the experience of eating potato chip that has the pleasurable Vedana.
yes, the pleasurable Vedana, that is where you have traded your happiness.
Yeah, exactly. So you put a condition on your happiness.
Yes, you have now conditioned your happiness to believe that this potato chip packet is the one which will give you tremendous happiness, and you cannot share that with anyone whatsoever.
Yeah. And the moment I then act on this tanha
Yes,
and ask for the potato chip, now I'm upadana. Yes?
yes, now you are in upadana, and because of that you have lived a life of, or you have created an existence of the potato chip, which is bhava.
Oh yeah. So when I then take the first one, of course I have to take the next one and the next one, next one. Is
Eh,
that keeping on the upadana?
Yes, you are adding on to the upadana. So ultimately your stomach gets bloated out.
Yeah.
And that is the jati of that condition. A new condition have started.
Yeah, and when I get bloated, then I can no longer eat. So then,
Then immediately there is jara, because now you cannot eat it.
yeah. So yeah, okay, yes.
Now jara marana. So now you have to keep that packet back, no matter how much you love it.
Yeah,
So now you have to eat it. Sorry, you want to eat it, but you cannot eat it. So now jara marana soka. So now you'll say that, hey, you know what, I shouldn't have eaten so many things.
mm,
So you have to wait until the stomach becomes free, so that you can then again shove up with these other potato chips which you have bought. So parideva is lamentation. Then you will say that, no, I shouldn't have bought these many potato chips, and now what should I do with all of them?
yeah,
Then the parideva dukkha. So now you have a physical dukkha of carrying that potato chips with you wherever you're going, because it is very much dear to you, because that is what the upadana did for you. Okay, so now you have dukkha do manasa. So now you have a mental grief. Oh my God, how do I carry this? It is so heavy. Can I give it to somebody? There is nobody who can take this potato chip. Can I sell it back to the shopkeeper? He might not buy it again because I had fought up with him to give me those chips in the first place. So now I have to carry this. So dukkha do manasa upaya. So now you're helpless.
so upayasa,
It's
what's the meaning of
helplessness.
upayasa?
Upa ayasa. Ayasa means tired, and upa is near. So you're tired within yourself.
Like exhausted.
You're exhausted. So that is helplessness.
Yeah, it's like when you lose your loved one, then your mind becomes
Yes.
exhausted.
Yes. So now you can put in this whatever you want. You will get this as a process. So you put a father. So avidya pache, sankhara pache, vinyana pache, namarupa pache, salaytana, like that. If you put a father, you will get soka parideva dukkha do manasa upayasa sambhavanti. Then you put a mother, you get the same thing. You put a wife, you put the same thing. You put a husband, you get the same thing. So all relationships and objects you put in that process, you will get the same thing in return.
Yeah, because the underlying ignorance that's there.
Yes, because they never existed in the first place.
Yeah, yeah.
So what never existed can never exist forever.
Yeah, it's like we mentally try to eternalize, and
It's not going to work. So it's not going to work. So that is the reason it is called as Udaya Vyaya Jnana. So that is the reason why it is called that way, because now I know that I am creating is all by mind. It is not physical. None of these relationships, Axel, are real and physical. The father, the friend, soldier, the son, the daughter, the
okay, back again.
Yes, I'm back again. So it is not real at all. See, now because the two people married, it is called as marriage, and they become father and mother. And then if they don't marry, they're called as living together. So it's called a live-in relationship. And then like that, everything. So the name and the forms or whatever is created is just created in the mind by everyone. And that is called as language and concept, and Buddha calls that as adivachana. So you should have a sampassa for this to happen, and an arhat will not have any sampassa at all. So it's only adivachana. So he just uses the name and nomenclature to communicate, not to keep it with himself. So whereas all of us will keep it with ourselves. That is the relationship. We keep it as nitya, sukha, atta, subha forever. So we feel that this person is going to exist, and the Paticcasamutpada shows that nothing can be kept forever, and everything is so much transient, and everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta in that. Because the roles and the rules for the roles keep on changing based upon the situation, and the situation is not in your control or anybody's control. It is just there. So anything can happen as long as the condition is matured, it is working, and the condition changes, everything changes.
Yeah. Just wondering one question. When you say it's sukha, when we have that ignorance, how would you say that in English? Because I know what it means to have the nitya ignorance about it.
The sukha, see the dukkha and the sukha, you have to use etymology, it becomes very easy. It is su plus akha and du plus akha. Su is good, akha is senses. From where the sense operated, I feel it is from that sense I can enjoy. So that is called as sukha.
Okay,
And
so nitya, so we have the ignorance that, it's eternalized as we want it, and
yes,
it's only a pleasurable thing.
yes,
So
it is always going to be a pleasurable thing.
Yeah, people have this sort of perception of the world that, it's just a pleasurable process.
Yes. So what it is called is that it is this way, without no pain, no gain, right?
Yeah.
So we had to take a pain to get a gain, and nobody asked why should you first suffer to get it. Anything in this world we have to suffer to get it. So because the sukha and the dukkha are the same coin but two faces. If one face up is sukha, the other face is dukkha.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is the reason it is su plus akha and du plus akha. Su is good and du is bad. Akha is the senses. So it is what provides a pleasure or a pain to the senses from which it has originated. If the origination is from the chakhu with the rupa, and I find it pleasurable, I will say what a sukha. Or the same object becomes dukkha immediately. So let us say somebody is playing a very nice 1940s country music and a loud country music, and then it's being played and the power goes away. Okay, the song is not being played, and it was coming in the radio, and the power went off. I don't have the backup. of the power, and then I cannot hear any longer. So then from the ear I was enjoying, and now that ear cannot enjoy anymore. So I feel dukkha.
Yeah.
So we have this nitya sanya that this is going to continue. This pleasure is going to continue forever.
Yeah. So this is why it all turns to dukkha no matter what, because we try to, we assume, we take something that, so sukha and dukkha that cannot go without each other, and
Yes.
we want it only to be the sukha, and it's impossible.
That's not possible. Yes, you're right. So, but that is how we are wired to think, because of the relationships what we have with objects and persons. It gives you that nitya sanya, that they are going to exist forever. So when a father dies, the body is dead, but the father is gone. So now I cannot stay without my father. Similarly, the wife is dead. Actually, the body is there, but the wife has gone. So I cannot do anything now. So now whom did I like? Whom did I love? I loved my wife. I did not love the body. I did not love the consciousness. I loved the wife which never existed in the first place. Without marriage,
You love the nama rupa of that.
yes, I only loved the nama rupa and brought it in my vijnana as true. So it has stayed in my vijnana. It has, every time I seen my wife, changing clothes or preparing food and all of that, each one of these activities she performs, and she performs very diligently, and that is the reason I love her. Otherwise I wouldn't have loved her in the first place, because she is doing everything what I want to make me happy, and then she's making me happy. So I love her tremendously, but I have no idea who the person is in reality. So I call this person as my wife, and this person has come into existence in my life. So there is this bhava, and there's a jati, and then because there is jati, there is going to be jara, marana, soka, parideva, dukkha, domanasa, upayasa, sambhavanti. So this is the whole mass of suffering. It's called dukkha, because holding on to something which never existed and creating something which was never there in the first place is the cause of suffering. So there is avidya and there is tanha. So these are the two things which is called as a person.
Yeah. It's very good. Thank you for explaining this. And so what I want to know also now is how the upadana pachaya bhava functions.
Yes, upadana pachaya bhava. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, what is your question?
Yeah, I just want to know how it functions. So what's the meaning of the bhava?
Yeah, the bhava is the existence. So the wife as an existence, or the friend as an existence, is dependent on what? On holding on dearly to that.
Oh, okay. So when you
see, we
okay, I see. So so your relationship to your wife as part of your existence,
yes,
dependent upon you constantly upadana with that.
yes, because I have a tanha which is there with my wife.
Yeah.
So the experiences are dear to me. So her mother experiences her as a daughter, whereas I experience the same lady as my wife. Okay, but they both are two different experiences altogether. So the both are upadana in their own levels.
Yeah. So, but then there's the other aspect of the bhava, meaning that when you upadana in that way, and to relive a certain relationship to the world, a certain bhava, you also build up the future bhava for that.
Yes, I'll create a future bhava for that to survive. So I have a jati, jara, marana because of that. So now every moment I'm creating a different bhava. So one bhava is I might have an love bhava, and another time I might have an anger bhava, Another time I might have a frustration bhava, and another time I will have a compassion bhava. So in each I am going to live that life of that is called as jati.
Okay, and every time you have this, then you build up the karma for the future rebirth also.
Yes, so I'm going to create the future rebirth because I need a wife next life as well.
Ah, yes. Because the moment you upadana and you create that bhava in the current life, now that tendency for the bhava having that bhava is still there after death, and since you build up that potential energy for doing that, now you're going to recreate it, and the way you created that bhava, that's what you'll end up with the next life.
Yes,
Coming back.
I'm going to end up in that life because I have created that karma bija for that.
Yeah, so if you wanted a certain bhava with your wife, but you had to try to upkeep that through anger, now you're building a future bhava through that.
Yes, so in the next life I'll get a wife who is going to make me angry forever.
Yeah.
And if I am having a loving bhava, the next life I'll get a wife who will always be loving me.
Yeah.
Because I have created the necessary conditions for that.
Yeah.
So this is how we trade our life on a daily basis, and this is called as Paticcasamutpada.
Okay, this is a very good explanation. Thank you. Now, then I have one last question.
Yes, sure.
I was curious how the Sankara Pacha Vijnana works. Because I don't understand how, because of avidya, we do Sankara. This makes sense to me because the moment you put value in the world and you internalize it, you take it as nitya, you take it as a pleasurable thing, you take it as a meaningful and essential thing, and then you and as a beneficial thing. Then the moment you do that, now you're in relation with the world, and then you have to do something to be happy. Because then the moment you do that, then you now happiness is conditional, and you have to do the sankhara.
Yep.
Yeah, but what's the meaning of doing the sankhara? What's the meaning of this creating the vijnana?
Vijnana is the giving a life to that sankhara. So how can you give a life to something which doesn't exist? For the sankharas to get operational, there should be some energy, right? So you are creating that energy that is called as vijnana, the chitta. The sankharas are dead. That actually they are called as heaps. So you have heaps of rupa, vedana, sanya, sankhara, vijnana. Okay, in that what happens is that a particular sankhara I want to create because of that particular role. So I need to bring it to the surface or to the, let us say like a painter, I need to bring it on the canvas. The canvas is empty. So that is what is mean by avidya, that canvas is empty. And then avidya pachay sankhara, sankhara pachay vijnana. Now I start writing on that. That energy is what is called as vijnana.
Oh, what do you mean the energy is what is called as vijnana?
Energy is the chittas which are creating that motion or that kind of experience, the future experience through nama rupa. Before that you're going to write something on that canvas, right?
Yeah, so there's empty canvas, and then you have the writing is the sankhara.
Is the sankhara. To write that you require something to move, right? How do you move your brush? If it is fixed, how do you move it? So you require something to move that.
Okay.
So you have a hand, right? So now you want to write. When you want to write, what happens? There is a sankhara and there is a movement along with that.
Yeah.
and that is called as vijnana. Without that, your hand will never move.
Okay, so because of sankhara, because of
Okay, you have to understand one thing in this. Because of the sankharas cannot happen by itself, so you require chetana, intention.
yeah.
Okay, so that is the reason what Buddha says is that chetanaham bhikkhave kammam vadami.
Yeah.
So for everything there is a chetana. For sankhara there is a chetana. Without chetana you cannot have a sankhara.
Mm.
So the assumption here is that you have understood what is the meaning of chetana. And because of chetana there is sankhara, and because there is sankhara there is this movement which is the vijnana.
Okay, so when you say the movement, you mean it's like the experience playing out.
No. Before the experience playing out, you are moving something, right? It's like a fuel. I don't know whether you got it. Just imagine this way. There's a car, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you sit inside the car. Okay. There is an avidya pachaya sankhara right now. You sit in the car. Agree?
Yeah.
And now when you sit in the car, will the car move?
No.
Why?
I haven't pressed on the gas pedal or started the car.
Yeah, that pressing of that of the starting of that car is called as vijnana.
Still not sure. So the starting of the car.
Now we again go back. Now you sit in the car.
Yeah.
Sitting in the car is the sankhara. Agree?
I can agree with that.
And the car is avijja, right? Do you agree with me? Why? Because I'll tell you, there's nothing called as car, and you believe it is a car.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? Now you sit in something inside, and something should happen, right?
Still not sure if I get the example.
I don't know, because then without that the nama rupa cannot happen. Because first you have to start the car, and then when you start the car you decide where to go, how to go, and all that. Those are all the nama rupa impressions. So the nama rupa pachaya, vijnana pachaya nama rupa, and nama rupa pachaya vijnana starts the process.
Yeah, I'm just not sure about.
So if you're not sure of this point, and then moving further is not going to help. So you have to really see, you're sitting in the car and you're doing nothing about it. If you're doing nothing about it, there's no vijnana. There is no consciousness at all that you're in the car. If you don't know where to go, you don't know what to do, then there's no vijnana. Agree with me?
Okay, yeah.
Now there is vijnana, right? You know you want to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And that knowing that you want to go somewhere is the vijnana.
Yeah.
So for the sankhara to operate, you require vijnana.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just sitting in the car. You don't do anything at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't move anywhere. It doesn't do anything, and you're just sitting there. And then getting out from the car is again another vijnana, because you have to get out, right?
Yeah.
Just like you got in, you have to get out. So all of these actions are called as vijnana, because it will appear, it will disappear. It will appear, it will disappear. It's just like firing up and firing down, firing up, firing down.
Yeah.
So when this firing up, firing down happen, depending upon the fuel what we have, that is the chetana what we have as a fuel what we're carrying, everything else starts manifesting. downwards in terms of nama rupa pachay salaytana. Before that we get into vinyana pachay nama rupa and nama rupa pachay vinyana. That goes in one cycle. Then this gives rise to salaytana, then phassa, then vedana, like that.
Okay. But you explained, I got the Vijnana Pachaya Sankara, but Sankara Pachaya Vijnana I don't get.
I don't know how better I can explain. Maybe that's my, what is that, limitation of explanation. Because I'm not getting any better example to tell you how to visualize this, apart from a car or sitting in a vehicle or sitting in a place and then trying to figure out where to go. And that figuring out where to go is the Vijnana.
Okay, I can see the figuring out where to go, but how is sitting in the car the Sankara?
Sitting in the car is a Sankhara, because the car is avidya, and then you have decided to sit in the car and then you want to go somewhere, right?
Mm.
So the Vijnana takes, like the Manasikara, that the same Vijnana, it will have this attention span saying that, okay, let's do this. So it gives that power to the mind to do whatever it wants to do, and that is the reason it's called Vijnana. And that is the reason, that is a condition, required condition for Sankhara to operate. Without the Vijnana, Sankhara cannot operate.
Yeah, this I get.
Yes, so that is the reason you have Avijja Pachay Sankhara, Sankhara Pachay Vijnana. Because the Vijnana is the agent or the condition for this Sankhara to operate. Whether to sit in the car or get out of the car or do this or do that is part of the Vijnana. It is not part of the Sankhara. And you do something because of that. So for Sankhara to come into place, you require Chetana. So you have a Chetana, and that is a Chetana which is therefore can be called a Sanchetana. Actually it's called a Sanchetana because you have Avijja in that, and Chetana is just a Chetana. So an Arhat just has a Chetana, and non-Arhat will have a Sanchetana, because we have that Raga Dvesha Moha along with what we want to do as an intention.
Yeah.
Okay, so that Avijja has a Chetana already, that intention is already there. And intention to operate, the Vijnana is supposed to be there. That Manasikara is supposed to be there, without which the Chetana cannot operate on its own. The energy has to be there.
Okay. So Avijja Pachaya Sankara Pachaya Vijnana, it's almost like it goes together.
Yes, it goes together. You are right.
Yeah. Because the moment you have the Avijja, now you have the Sanchetana, and then because of that, the Sankara and the Vijnana is created together as the interface.
Yes.
So you have the Chetana, and you have the Chetana, and in order for that you need the Vijnana, the Sankara and the Vijnana. So the Sankara is like the volitional stream of action.
Yes.
Mental action.
Yes.
In order to
in order to have this movement of the Sankhara, otherwise they are all fixed objects. They don't move by itself.
Yeah. So the movement is there because the Avijja, because there's always like a carrot on a stick in front of you.
Exactly. Now you got the point. So that is what that movement, that Vijnana makes you, just like, you sit in a movie theater, and then you are the screen, and suddenly the light comes up. That light coming up is the Vijnana.
Yeah. And then the Avijja is always like, oh, what's going to happen next?
Yes, and then that anticipation that what is going to happen to this story is the Avijja.
Yeah, and then you have to keep watching, which then...
Yes, you have to not only keep watching, you have to also keep on creating characters.
Yeah. When this is doing the Sankara, and then you experience it as Vijnana.
Yes, you experience Vijnana, and Vijnana produces Namarupa, and Namarupa again produces Vijnana.
So it's like, the carrot on a stick example is quite good, because the moment you have a carrot on a stick in front of you, now you have to do something. So now the Sankara is there. Now So, but in order for anything to happen, there needs to be a sort of a refresh rate. There needs to be an experience, a quality about it. So the English word quality is like you have a sensory experience about it.
Yes.
So like something playing out. So it wouldn't make, you can't have any sankara without there being an experience playing out.
Yes.
And you can't have any vijnana without there being some sort of volitional stream going somewhere.
Yes, and that volitional stream is what is called as abhisankara.
Yeah, and the volitional stream requires that the carrot is on the stick in front of you. This is
Yes.
the
Yes,
okay.
otherwise there is no the sanchetana.
Yeah. Okay, now it's thank you so much. Now I understand.
Not a problem. Always welcome. Okay, so we have spent a good amount of time on this Paticcasamutpada cycle. Hello, Axel.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry, the airplane mode's turned on. But yeah, we spent a good amount of time, and I think now I understand it, how the terms play out. Thank you so much.
No problem. So then we will disconnect.
Yeah, and I would very much like to, in the future, discuss more Dhamma, because I found this discussion very useful.
Absolutely fine. I mean, I'm there, so we can meet up at the same time every day or every other day or however it is, and then we can talk about it.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you so much, Vilas.
Not an issue. How is Lasanta doing? I mean, easy there or easy hearing or?
Yeah, Vilas, I was there. Then it was very nice explanation about the Panchaskanda, the five aggregates. I was listening, and you very nicely explained about how it works, as well as Paticcasamutpada cycles. And at the very beginning, you explained about the Imasming Sati Idang Hoti and Anuloma and Patiloma Paticcasamutpada cycles. It's very nicely explained. And also Namakaya Paticca Sampas and Rupakaya Adivachana Sampas is also nicely explained. I was listening, and I think it would help Axel to understand Dhamma. So may these merits would help you to understand this and complete the path of the supreme bliss of Nibbana, Vilas.
Thank you.
And yeah, Vilas, and Thiruvan Sarna will meet again soon, Vilas.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you and Axel and your entire family.
Oh, thank you so much. Thiruvan Sarna.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Thiruvan Sarna, good night.
May you complete the path.
Yeah, thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bye. Okay, so we have spent a good amount of time on this Paticcasamutpada cycle. Hello, Axel.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry, the airplane mode's turned on. But yeah, we spent a good amount of time, and I think now I understand it, how the terms play out. Thank you so much.
No problem. So then we will disconnect.
Yeah, and I would very much like to, in the future, discuss more Dhamma, because I found this discussion very useful.
Absolutely fine. I mean, I'm there, so we can meet up at the same time every day or every other day or however it is, and then we can talk about it.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you so much, Vilas.
Not an issue. How is Lasanta doing? I mean, easy there or easy hearing or?
Yeah, Vilas, I was there. Then it was very nice explanation about the Panchaskanda, the five aggregates. I was listening, and you very nicely explained about how it works, as well as Paticcasamutpada cycles. And at the very beginning, you explained about the Imasming Sati Idang Hoti and Anuloma and Patiloma Paticcasamutpada cycles. It's very nicely explained. And also Namakaya Paticca Sampas and Rupakaya Adivachana Sampas is also nicely explained. I was listening, and I think it would help Axel to understand Dhamma. So may these merits would help you to understand this and complete the path of the supreme bliss of Nibbana, Vilas.
Thank you.
And yeah, Vilas, and Thiruvan Sarna will meet again soon, Vilas.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you and Axel and your entire family.
Thank you so much. Thiruvan Saranai.
Yeah, okay. Yes, Tervan Sarnai, good night.
May you complete the path.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bye. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bye.